dinner menus for the week so you don't have to, where every dish utilizes similar ingredients from one grocery haul. And if you're looking to cook more efficiently throughout the week, you can by prepping certain ingredients ahead of time. The theme for this week was cutting corners and taking shortcuts, which featured certain ingredients like jarred salsa and store-bought flour tortillas. But as you can see, I made my tortillas from scratch because I wanted to make sourdough discard tortillas. Anyway, that's besides the point, because homemade or store-bought, we're using flour tortillas in a few of our dishes this week, starting with day one. Now for this dinner, I braised some chicken in a sauce that I made on prep day. I also added some bell peppers that I had previously sliced on prep day. And once that chicken was fully cooked, I shredded it up and put it back in that sauce. I then took that chicken and placed it inside of those tortillas that I made, and I got started on assembling my flautas. Now these flautas are not traditional by any means because I did bake them, but once they got golden brown and crispy in the oven, I took them out and then plated them with a bunch of things that I prepped on prep day, as well as avocado and sour cream. And just like that, dinner was served. Now for day two, this dinner was the fastest of the week because all I did was saute this bell pepper that I previously diced, and then I added a coconut tomato sauce that I made on prep day. And once it was hot, I dropped in some shrimp. I reheated and plated some rice that I previously made, and once that shrimp was fully cooked, I plated it all up. Of course, I topped it with some fresh cilantro and scallions, and voila, dinner was served. Now for day three, we made a taco salad, which started with me crisping up some quinoa, which is literally just beans and quinoa mixed together. Again, that was all made previously, so I didn't have to do much for this. And as that crisped up in the oven, I started assembling my salad. For this, I combined a bunch of prepped greens, which included stuff like romaine, cilantro, scallions, and then I made a very simple dressing, which included our jarred salsa and sour cream. And once that was finished, I reheated that salsa braised chicken. I then assembled the salad, topped it with that salsa braised chicken, as well as that crispy quinoa. I then added that salsa dressing, topped it with that queso fresco, avocado, and sliced scallions. Okay, now for day four, I used the rest of that salsa in the jar to make a fun little marinade for some steak. For this, I used skirt steak, but you could definitely use flank steak. For some additional flavor, I also added some sliced onions and bell peppers, which again, were previously sliced. And then I let that marinate for about 30 minutes at room temperature. I made a really makeshift corn salsa, which was literally just searing up some frozen corn and then adding it to some chopped avocado. I did also add some scallions as well as lime juice, salt, olive oil, and then just a little suspicion of cumin. And that was the extent of all the mixing we had to do on this day. I then seared up the steak and cooked it until it reached my desired internal temperature. I also seared up those fajita veggies so that they got nice and caramelized. And then I got started on plating. For this, I reheated and then plated the remaining half of our quinoa. I topped it with that sliced steak as well as those fajita veggies and then that corn salsa. And then of course, can't forget about the fresh herbs and flaky salt. And voila, dinner was served. Now for the grand finale, day 5, I sliced the remaining tomatoes that I had on hand and I gave them a good little sear before I added a curried coconut milk that I made on prep day. I added in some tilapia fillets, to which I poached just until they were fully cooked. I reheated and plated the remaining rice that I had, and I served it all up with those poached tilapia fillets. I garnished with some fresh herbs, and just like that, dinner was served. You can find all the details and recipes on my Substack linked on my profile.